Hello. I haven't made a video in a while, but I just picked up a new rod, so I figured I'd make a video on it. It's the Ugly Stik Bigwater in the 8-foot 2-piece medium action. That's a little better. And yeah, this is the 8-foot medium action. And there's a few videos on like the 7-foot, 6-foot ones, and the ones are like the real long, almost surf rod like ones, but nothing really on this particular model. So I figured, might as well make a video on it. And I figure if I'm gonna make a video about this, I might as well make a kind of comparison video of one from, I think I got this back in 2014. It's one of my oldest rods I currently own, so yeah, I figured it'd be pretty cool to do a bit of a compare and contrast and see how the new model compares to the old one. So I think I'm gonna get a reel put on this, I'm gonna get it rigged up, and I'm gonna get some bait made up. And I think really the best way to test out new rods and see how well they'll do is to put them up against some big, hard fighting fish. And for me right now, there's a lot of carp right here, and there's probably plenty of catfish. I'm assuming there's catfish. Someone's here before me, they got chicken breast here all cut up. Maybe I'll throw a chunk of that out. But I'm gonna try for some carp with this, and yeah, we'll compare the two and see how this one handles. Well, now my fingers are red from making the pack bait. So I figure while that sets for a moment, I might as well do an initial comparison between the two rods, because there is a few differences. I guess one thing I should note, I don't know if you'd really consider this a Bigwater model. It's kind of just an old model or an older model of Ugly Stik. That's just kind of the beefed up version of, you know, the old black, red, and yellow. But I do remember on the tag, oh, we got a couple carp rolling over there already. I do remember on the tag, it said something like ready for the Bigwater. So while it doesn't outwardly say it, it's pretty clear that this rod here was the basis for this rod in the future. Now, initial comparisons, I think the biggest difference you'd see are the guides. You know, this one's just all metal guides. This one still have the inserts. That was when the Ugly Stik still had those. The color around the guides are similar, and both got the clear tip. Similar decals down here, with just this being illuminated with more yellow. And then from there, the biggest difference outside of the guides are the handles, I'd say. The handle on the new one is about 2.5 so inches longer, 2.5 inches. You can see this is just more of a standard traditional foam handle. This one has the split grip. And I think I generally like these handles a little bit more, but you know, I've never had an issue with that one there. And another kind of semi-minor thing is that the rod blank on the new one is slightly thinner. I don't know how well that'll pick up, but you can definitely tell that there's a slightly thinner blank. So I wonder how well this one will actually do. Okay, because they're rated, I believe, for the same 25-pound line, but doesn't give a weight. This one says 20 and up to 3 ounces. So it might be similar. This one this one probably can't handle as heavy of weights, but you know, I'd say they're both very, very similar in many regards. And I will include one thing. This will not include the red and silver Bigwaters. Those ones, from personal experience and a lot of reviews I've read about them, they just weren't that good of rods. They seem to split around the halfway point a little too much. Both the ones I had split around the ferrule, and even the one-piece rods I've read will kind of break down and just break on you in a very short amount of time. So, well, the bait store I got this from did have one of those red ones. I chose to just leave it out. But I think I'm gonna get my area kind of cleaned up. Realized I forgot a net, so I'll go take this stuff into the car and come back down with a net, and I'll get some baits in the water. All right, first bait going out. I just got some breadcrumbs, strawberry jello, sweet corn, pack bait. Still a little dry, but it should cast out just fine. And the carp here is so just unbothered by hooks that you don't even need a hair rig. Just some of that, to be honest, probably some corn on the hook would be good enough anyways, but I had the ingredients and I'm gonna use it tomorrow, so I figured might as well just make it. But first bait going out. Here we go, first bait on the old rod. Let's get felt very similar to casting. This one's got a slightly heavier weight on it. I think these rods, basically the same amount of weight. They're basically the same rod, just this one's a newer model than that one. Got my net, got a light just in case. One thing I find kind of funny, so I got the Cascading Sharky 3 live liners on these reels. I got the 4,000 on that one and the 5,000 on the new one. And I got that 4,000 back in 2022 and it's worked pretty flawlessly. Caught a lot of nice fish on it. And I got this one, the 5,000 series. I got that one way back in 2018 when they first released that reel. So it's kind of funny. I got the newer reel on the old rod and the old reel on the new rod. Kind of funny how that worked out, but yeah, these reels, they work pretty flawlessly. I've never dug into this one, and I've abused this thing pretty hard, and it just keeps on chugging. Look at that, new one's going. There we go. There we go. This one's hooked now, and we're not across the lines. I think that's just what happened earlier. I thought I had two fish, but whatever it is, it's just a little guy. There we go. Carp number one. Close fish. Oh my God. Stuck on my net. There's first carp, probably about a 7-pounder or so, but I got one on the other rod now, so let's get this one back. There he is. Little guy. There we go. Come on. No. Well, we got two fish. I wanted to show that one off. He's not that big. He's a little guy. Right, I'm kind of sitting in the light now, but I think this originally I got the light sitting over here now, more behind the rods, behind the bucket, instead of right up next to the camera. I was noticing there was like a little bit of a glare and you couldn't really see much. Back up here. It's a little better. Initial thoughts on the new rod compared to that one? I've got one on each fish, or one fish on each pole. They kind of handle a little similar. I kind of like the way the new one acts in comparison. You know, that's, I don't know, it felt different. I really liked the way this one went. Oh, something's messing with the old rod. One thing that I did read about between this rod and the previous one, the red and silver one, man, these bugs are just everywhere. Sitting right in the light, so that doesn't help either. You know, the thing I read about this one in the previous model, supposedly they went back and redid a little bit in the blank here. And I mean, from what I felt, just from casting and the one I caught, you know, it did feel a little better in comparison to those older ones. The red and silver model. Yeah, those red and silver ones, I've had a couple. I've broken, I think, all of the ones I've ever owned, and I've read a lot of reviews of those ones breaking too, so. But the reviews that I've read for the new model of this are a bit more positive in comparison. Now I just gotta catch a real big one. That'd be pretty cool. Last weekend, God, down bugs. Dang. Last weekend when I was here, I did catch a few of them over 10 pounds, and you know, there are bigger ones than that in this river. One thing I will say about the new rod too, that's a little different in comparison to the old one. I find this one does cast a little better. I don't know if that's because of the longer handle. I'd assume that probably helps with it. The first guide is a little further away from the reel. Oh, just like that. There we go. Oh, we got one. Yeah, the first guide's a little further away from the reel, and oh. Got him. Oh, he's a little guy. The smallest one of the night so far. You know, just a little guy. Make up for that little mess up with that last one. Oh. Got another one on the other rod. There we go. Got him. Oh, right there. Hi. There we go, I hooked myself. Biggest catch of the night. Well, there we go. Hook in the hat. Yeah, that one, I don't know, it felt like a pretty decent fish. I almost wonder if it was a catfish. It wasn't really taking off like a carp, but I'm gonna get that out real quick, get baits back out. All right, new one going out again. Yeah, this one casts really nice. I like it. Baits are back out. I would like to catch catfish too at some point. I was actually planning on trying for some flatheads out on a river further west, but got caught up. Had stuff happening at home. That's okay. Now, would I want to use this rod in particular for something like a flathead? It can handle the small ones easily. I wouldn't want to cast too heavy. Like, I wouldn't want to use this in big river with lots of current, but they do make other models of this big water, and they do make them in casting too, so that might be a decent option to look into. I do have a casting one of this rod, well, not of this particular model. It's 7 foot. Oh. There we go. Who's that? I was gonna say, I got it at a garage sale a couple years ago for a pretty good deal. Whoa, whoa. He's like flying out of the water. Dude, that was so cool. I wish I would have had a camera. Whoa. Wish I would have had a camera on that. Oh. Oh no, that one's going too now. This way. All right, that's a nice one. Not a big one, but it's a fun one. Yeah, this thing came flying clean out of the water like a tarpon almost. That was crazy. Show this one. Oh, he's in the net. Oh my goodness, this net. Ugh. Let's get this thing. Oh, right out of that. Okay. Get this one back. Get that other fish landed. There we go. There we go. Might be a semi-decent fish again. manhole bugs. Oh, there we go. Alright, that's the biggest fish of the night there. There we go. That's a nice one there. Let's see if we get the light. There we go. A little better in the light. There we are. That just shows you, I wanted to catch a nice one on the new rod, but that just shows even the ones that are 10 plus years old, they're still capable of landing some nice fish. That's a good one there. That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, there we go. Good release. Off it goes. I got a decent one. Hello, following day now. Last night a couple real sketchy people showed up and set up right next to me, and didn't really feel comfortable having my phone out with them around, so I decided to stop filming. I did wrap up. Oh, got a carp jumping right there already. Decided to stop filming. I did fish a little bit longer, probably about half an hour after they showed up. I kept fishing, and I wish I would have gotten them filmed because I did catch a couple real big ones. One big one on each of the Bigwaters. I'm going to continue comparing them again. And the biggest fish I caught last night came on the new rod, and I'm gonna say, you know, I'll have a little more of an overview at the end, but I am really enjoying the new Ugly Stik Bigwater series. So yeah, I'm gonna get baited up. We're gonna use the same kinds of baits as yesterday, and there's carp here. I'm assuming they're gonna be filming too. Filming? No, feeding. I'm filming. That's a little better. That's a little better. There we go. That's a good one. That is a good one. Oh, that's a good one on the new rod. But, all right. Nice carp on the new rod. A little smaller than that first, the big one I caught today, but still a nice fish. see if that. Oh. Alright, it's nighttime now. I guess I decided to come back out to use up the rest of my bait. I'm gonna just use my new rod because I don't have too much left. I want to try to see if I get another big one, kind of comparable to that last big one I got on the new rod. So, but yeah, no one's out here. I decided to just head back. We're starting to get a lot of people down here. I just figured trying to film around a bunch of people wasn't going to be too easy. I'd just come back later on. Now there's no one here, so let's get a bait out. I did see someone came down here and started fishing for carp. There's a pile of corn on this rock that I was sitting on yesterday. Got another one going. Well, the tripod didn't want to stand up there. There? Yeah, there. What came out is this weird cloth. I don't know. It's like a scarf or something. Alright, well, there we go. First carp of the night. I don't know if you can see that. There's like a weird gash right underneath his pectoral fin there. Yeah, this bro. I don't know what that is, dude. It's not bleeding. So it's likely a healing wound, but oh, okay, let's get him back. Well, you know the drill at this point. It did not take too long for another bite. This is weird. Oh, it's catfish. Well, there we go. That's bigger than the kid. Oh man, he's missing a whisker. Good eating size though. And if I was keeping fish, perfect size, but he's gonna go back. Still there? Yes, he is. Doesn't feel too big though. Nice. Still doesn't get too terribly big. a little bigger. Not now. Wonder if he's gonna be the biggest one of the night so far. That is a nice one. That is a nice one. I was thinking he's going to be a small fish. That is not a small fish. I think that'll probably be a good fish to end on because I'm pretty well out of pack bait. And it's on the new rod. Oh, that's what I wanted. I got to get a good spot to stand. There we go. That is awesome. That's what I wanted tonight. That's kind of what I wanted to end on. Nice. It's not quite as big as the one I caught yesterday on the new rod, but man, that is a very nice, much bigger than the rest of the ones. That's what I wanted. That is so cool. Here's also the most respectable one. That one just nice, gentle swim off. Not spraying water all over the place. Alrighty. Well, I figure now that I've got a couple nice fish on both of these rods these last couple days, what's kind of verdict? How does it compare to the one from 11 years ago? Well, I do personally think it is just in hand a little bit better of a rod. It's roughly the same weight. This one's just slightly lighter. This one does feel just the tiniest bit lighter if I had to compare the two. But no, I think a lot of it is just an overall better rod. I like the action on this one a lot. I like the handle. It's a nice long handle. The guides, I personally like all one-piece guides myself. I like to, fly and, that they get damaged all the time. TSA does not care about your stuff. But yeah, overall, I think personally, I do think this is just an overall better than the 11-year-old one. And it is a lot better than the red and silver one. They definitely, I heard. I read a few reviews saying that the quality control on these new ones are supposedly a lot better. Like, I don't know. I guess they overall just upped their quality control from the old model to this one. And I think, thank goodness they did. Who knows what the longevity of these rods are going to be though? Like, will it, it lasts good now, but will it break in a year time, or will it be, lasting 11 years like this one? Will this be the definitive model for the next 11 years, or will I have to do another video down the line with whatever updates from this? Who knows? I think I personally really like it. Will it replace the rods in my current collection? I think I'll always have it on hand, and I'll definitely be using it quite a bit for carp fishing and catfish too. But will it replace it? Currently, a couple of the rods that I use quite often is, of course, the older model. I have a couple casting progressive glasses. This, if anything, will replace the 7.5 foot one of those I have, but I do have an 8 foot heavy action of that. That is just such a beast. It works awesome for this kind of fishing. But I will definitely have it. Will I buy another one in this model? Probably not. I think one in this 8 foot medium action is enough. But they do, I don't recall seeing this in the red and silver model, but there is an 8 foot medium heavy that is rated for like even more weight and twice the strength of line. I do believe it goes up to 40 pound line on that one. I might try that one. We'll see. I don't know. It'd be nice to have just a slightly stronger rod for, throwing bigger rigs and bigger, like, this is nice, but, for this. But if I'm fishing somewhere where I need to get a heavier weight out, I think having that slightly stronger rod will be a better thing to have in hand. But we'll see. I just picked this one up. I want to try it out a little more, but something up there. Yeah, as a whole, I really do thoroughly enjoy this rod. I don't think it'll be an outward, ooh. I don't know if the line, if the thing will pick that up at all. There's a pretty serious fray in my line, so I feel kind of glad I got that in. Right about there. I don't know if that'll pop up, probably not. Yeah, I am glad I have this. I don't know if it'll be completely replacing all my other rods. Like obviously I'll still be using this one. This one is still just such an awesome rod to have. It lasted 11 years and who knows, it'll probably last another 11. But I am very glad to have picked this up. So hopefully this might be a little bit of a long video. I'll probably have to cut out a lot of stuff. But hopefully you found it kind of interesting, you know, comparing these two models of Ugly Stik. It's, you know, the Ugly Stik's come a long way, I know, and it's just interesting to see how they compare, you know, the old stuff to the new stuff. And there's a lot of other Ugly Stik rods out there I would like to try, so maybe a lot of them I'd have to order on like Amazon or directly from the website. We don't really have a whole lot of it. We have the basic GX2s, some of the Bigwaters, and the catfish rods, and the carbon too, I guess. But yeah, this has been fun. I have really enjoyed this rod. I keep saying it over and over, but it is a nice rod in the hand. It does feel a lot better. I keep saying that. It just feels better than those red and silver model. They've really upped the game on this one. So I'm gonna get cleaned up. I'm gonna pack her in, and that'll do it for the night. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your night. Let me know, do you have the new Bigwater? Do you have an old one? Do you have the red and silver that's actually working pretty good? Did the red and silver break? Did this one break? Let me know. But in the meantime, it's time to pack it in. Have a good night, everyone.